Hey friends, so I'm running off to the sheds. We actually moved them to a different location, so there's more room to work on them. And I have a new crew coming to help, which is amazing. We've had a really hard time, really hard time getting people to come help right now. It's just the time of year. I know it's hard. I'm very grateful for this new crew coming to help, because I do have situations that are pretty dire. One family's just not in a great condition and their living situation, and then my single mom, her Airbnb is running out soon, so we've got to get that settled. Other situations, and I'm just going to address quickly. I had another video filmed for you guys this week, and it got corrupted, and then all this news came out, so I thought I would just address some things that I keep hearing. I'm waiting on my daughter to come get her school books out of the car so she can do school today. So one of the things I keep hearing is that, and I've seen this comment a few times, and I've had it come through email a few times, and I've seen it on my social media platforms, and it is that, oh good, all the people are getting help, they're getting furnished apartments, and so they're not going to need any help anymore. That's such great news. Well, let me fill you in on that. And sorry to drive and film. I'm just on my little back road here, and I literally have 0 minutes in today. Okay, so here's the thing with the furnished apartments. And I guess I know where those stories came from, and then I saw a bunch of TikToks. And there was, I know of one situation where the F organization took them out of a hotel, moved them into a furnished apartment for, I think it was a 9-month lease. I know of one. I think there's 3. I would say the other 2 that I have heard about might be true. Okay, so that's 3 that got furnished apartments out of thousands. So no, we did not get everybody moved into furnished apartments. There aren't furnished apartments around here. That's not even like a real thing. If anything, the situation's actually gotten a little worse. Vouchers were extended. I know some are extended through February 7th right now. And it's just like, I don't know if that's going to keep going. Some weren't. I have another house build we might do for somebody who just filled out the form. Their voucher expired. They went into a pop-up camper, and they're just really cold, and the black tank, the waste tank is frozen, and it's just not working out. As you can imagine, it just doesn't, living in a pop-up camper. So there are other situations. So if anything, I will tell you, the situations are now at the next level where people are moving out of those hotels, or like my single mom, she's in an Airbnb, but she can't renew that next month. So we're going to have to find her somewhere else to go. And so a lot of that is happening because, and I don't fault the Airbnbs. You got a lot of them that were damaged in the flood. I have friends who had that happen, and they have to pay for that 100% out of pocket. You're not getting any volunteer groups unless it's just like friends and things. They're not qualifying for any of the assistance out there, or insurance. So they're having to take care of that. So the supply of Airbnbs is down, which makes the demand higher and drives up the costs and all the things. And then, yeah, there's just really not a lot of options. There isn't. Anne took some video for you guys over at the Tent City. So I'm going to post that in here so you can see what's going on over there, and tell you some of the situations of what's going on over there. But that's the reality. One person I know of got moved out of a hotel and into a furnished apartment. It happened 2 days before, or a day before T-Man's visit here. I know, here's the thing with the visit, because a lot of people have asked my opinion on it. I personally don't believe in right-left stuff. I think it's, I've said this multiple times, 2 sides of the same wicked coin. I think it's just a game at this point. That's just my personal opinion. Obviously, I don't expect everyone to believe that, and I know a lot of people are really excited about T-Man and some of the things he's doing, and some of the things he's doing are good. I won't deny that, but it didn't solve our problem here. My thoughts on his talk it's great. We're going to have the Army Corps, he said. So I'm really looking forward to that. The roads are a disaster. And there's one that I take every day. And this week they started putting in new culverts because the road washed out really bad. It's just destroyed over there. And so there's progress there. I know that's at a city level. But I was happy to see like some movement, because downtown Marshall, like nothing's happening anymore aside from the people who volunteered originally and those who are fixing up their businesses. Everything else is just untouched. It's just rubble. It looks like a bomb went off here. It's not changing at all. And it's, I know it takes time, but also all that untouched space is space that's been touched by the F organization. So those are the ones, they're all of our police station, our post office. The buildings that are still in disarray and still piles of rubble are not the privately owned businesses. It's the state-owned businesses, and it's the properties that the F organization has touched. As far as, I don't know if they bought them out or if they're just going to be in charge of like that part of the cleanup. So, I know bureaucratic stuff is slow, and it's slow because nothing's happening, and it looks like a total disaster, which is sad actually. So we're about to be back in our church though. So, in the private sector, in our church chose not to go with the F organization and do it independently, just for this purpose, like to not go through, just to have more control over getting it done a little bit faster and not having to go through their stuff. So that is the update there. As far as his talk, $2 billion to the area, I think, and I haven't confirmed these numbers, but Billy over at Perma Pasture Farms said it was, either he said it was $540 billion or $54 billion. I'm thinking it was $54 billion. I did not listen very carefully, I will tell you. But it's way, 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 way more. The damage here, all the way to Tennessee, is way more than $2 billion. And so that's not going to get us where we need to go. And then when it came to the private sector, like the homes, during that talk, he did not say that there would be any help as far as that goes from the government side. And I don't know if that's right, wrong, or indifferent. I have zero opinion on that. I tend to be like I said, government should be very small, and it's not. It's very, very big, no matter who's in charge. When it came to the private sector, he just kept saying, like, Samaritan's Purse is doing such a great job. Got Franklin Graham, and he said Franklin Graham like 15 times over and over and over again. And Franklin Graham was at the inauguration. And Franklin Graham, where are you? And Franklin's doing such a great job. And Franklin, with some Franklin on the side of some Franklins. There were a lot of Franklins. And he did say, and we're going to support them. And what else did he say on the private sector? He just said it's putting it back in the hands of the state. And you guys posted in the comments things I missed. I did not listen very carefully. I will tell you that. I just picked up on the things and listened for what I needed to hear. And so putting it back in the hands of the state, which it should be in the hands of the state, should not be in that F organization. I did not hear any like definitive they're going away or anything like that. Kind of made a comment like doesn't like them, doesn't like what they've done, but wish you could get rid of them, kind of implying you can't. So honestly, I don't know. On the side of people needing housing and needing a safe space to stay, I will tell you what has happened is those in the F camp, meaning like they're using vouchers for hotels, those have been extended, some through February 7th. I don't know how long that goes on. Like, I don't really know. And then some have not and have been moved into different situations like campers. And there's no apartments furnished for everybody who needs help. That's not what's happening. The rebuilds are coming through independent people. And so you've got, if you had a home, there's groups helping you rebuild. There's lots of those in town. And if you didn't have a home, there are some that are going to rebuild from the ground up if you have infrastructure for that. And then you've got kind of the situation we're helping where they're not qualifying for any of those things and don't even have land in some situations and aren't going to have infrastructure like power and septic. So we're just doing the shed homes. So we're doing the tiny homes for those situations. So one other update I wanted to give you guys is just to be real careful with a particular, we got word, and I did a community post on it if you want to go see it. I'm not going to mention names here or post that. You can go to my community post. It was photos taken off of someone else's post. But there was some concern, and there is concern, and there's been concern in the area. Those of us that are here are very aware of who's doing what and all the things. That another person that was featured on a YouTube as like a hero and doing all this amazing work and SAR teams and elaborate stories. Just please know those videos are intended for one purpose, to raise money. And it's now been words out that that particular hero is not as great as people thought. I don't think anybody here ever thought it, because it's easy to see when you're taking something that someone else is donating and you're putting your name on it and you're claiming it's yours. It's easy to see that that's not the right thing to do, and what is actually happening. And this particular situation kind of creeped into our area this week, last week actually. And, you know, I'm all about redemption. And I was like, you know, the minute I heard the name and knew it was connected to that YouTuber, I was like, that I don't, you know, I know who that is, and I know who he is, and I know what they're doing. But I wanted to be open to being wrong, right? And so I had a conversation on the phone. I listened to the situation. I thought it was about buildings. And when I talked, it was about a building for somebody. And in that situation, I did say, like, we have access to a car if you know of anybody needs it. And immediately it was like, we'll take it. We need it for volunteers. And that's always a red flag to me right there. Like, didn't even, like, I mean, supposed to have access to hundreds of people is the story. Hundreds of people in need. And there's not one of them that could benefit from having a car, you know, and you're going to take it instead. So that was a red flag. And I had said, well, why don't I go film with you and see this situation that needs help? Because I wanted to put eyes on it, obviously, and just really make sure. And I never called. Like, I just got off the phone and my spirit was like, I had 2 conversations to give it a fair shot. And my spirit was just like, no, this is what you think it is. These people are what you have known from the beginning, what they're doing. I've known from the beginning, since those YouTubes came out of these people, what's going on over there. So I just didn't do anything. I didn't realize she actually got connected also to another friend, and he did kind of get connected to help them in a way, and went over there, and we got on the phone, and I just kind of mentioned, hey, you know, just a heads up, be careful in that situation. He's like, oh my gosh, I was over there, and yeah, something is not right, and I've got a real bad feeling, and I'm backing out of that. And, you know, I was like, well, that's the Holy Spirit. You felt it. I confirmed it. Well, then we saw this post like 2 days later that came up, and you can see it on my community post. And it's exactly what we've known. We've all known it. It's just, you know, it's a weird situation we're in. So just be careful and know, like, those videos are there for one purpose, to raise funds for people that are using them to live off of and create a lifestyle here. All right, we're here. Okay, so that was a blessing. We're going to look for a ladder, drop off checks, order another shed home. But I just met a gentleman. He came with them to volunteer today, and he's out of a job and needs work and does construction. And that is exactly what we need. So huge blessing from the Lord. These are volunteers, but they also brought help that actually need help too. And so we do have one employee that we pay, and he works pretty much full time. You guys have met him, Ian, and then this could be the second hand. And we really can't do it without that, because when you're dealing with volunteers, I've got a big crew coming in on the 17th. Calvary comes in when they can, but there are, like, we've gone weeks where it's only been 1 or 2 days we've been able to get help, and that just doesn't work. So being able to help somebody in our community who lost their job and needs help with work, and they can work on these full time and just like come in, we can get people safe faster. So that was such a huge blessing. Praises. Okay, so those are my updates for today. So today I didn't film because I didn't ask permission to put the people who are volunteering and who are working. But these particular friends I met through YouTube. So many of you guys, like some of the people I'm helping, I've met through you guys. Such a blessing. And I will tell you, like, it is such a blessing to see people helping people like through this internet space. It's been incredible. And you know, just the kindness and everybody that is helping. And so even though we have these little situations that pop up, and you know, I know sometimes when it comes to the political stuff, people have strong opinions and views, and at the end of the day, it is the people helping the people. So my food for thought here today, and what I've experienced just this morning, it's 11:21, and this is what I've experienced. That the political stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they say they're gonna do. Anything they do, it will be a blessing. Be super excited about that. I always have concerns when we're singing praises to man. So my issues with the constantly saying Graham over again is because that particular person took a stance back 2021 and said Jesus would get when the question was asked, you know, real questions were being asked. Is this safe? Is this something I should get? Real questions. And the response was Jesus would. And so I have concerns with that. I feel like that's a manipulation tool. And anytime you've got political connection to, when there's that much political connection and that much singing praises of a man, it's just a red flag for me. Not that that organization isn't doing great things here right now. I'm not personally familiar with what they're doing, but I hear they're doing great things. So all that to say, like at the end of the day, and what I realized today is what I've seen from day one, that it's people helping people. And it's you guys on the other side of the screen doing things. I get emails, you guys. I mean, people have just like dropped off cash over at Wayne's for these projects. I've gotten cash in the mail. I get checks in the mail from you guys. And it's incredible. And it's people helping people. And that's what I've really realized through this. Like the goodness of people, the willingness for people to lean in and help others. That's the real stories we should be sharing. Promises of furnished hotel, furnished apartments, you know, those are just it's just showboat moves. They're showboat moves for political purposes, and unfortunately they get spread around on Reels and TikToks, and it's not where the glory should go. The glory should go to God, and then people helping people, because the people that just showed up today, I've got 2 volunteers. They're amazing, and they help other people who are in hard times and have homelessness situations. And so now I was able to give 2 people who are in a, you know, situation where they need some income and some help. Was able to give them a little bit of that money. So one lady, she was so excited and was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be able to pay for my courses, because she's trying to do something to better her life. Another gentleman does construction, so grateful to have a little income from being here today. They were willing to do it for free, but now it's a paid job, and so that's blessing them, and it's blessing us because we need help. I need to be able to have someone who can commit full-time to helping us. Another person. I already have Ian, but I need another person, and so what a blessing to have this other person that might work out. So yeah, that's what really matters. It's the people helping people. The other stuff is all just distractions. It's distractions to keep you glued to the news. All the stuff going on since the beginning of this year. It is constant. It's never ending. We've got fires here in North Carolina, as I'm sure you've heard. We've got all sorts of crazy things happening all over the place. And again, you know, don't let it consume you. I think it's important to know what's going on in the world. I think it's important to, you know, spend a little bit of time understanding what's happening, but don't let it rob you of your production. Make this year a year where you start to lean into healthy habits, doing things, getting movement, building your relationship with Christ, building relationship with people and community, gardening, growing some of your own food, all of these things that are going to produce such a high quality of life, where all this constant news and this constant I have to do research to do my job online, so I do scroll, but it's for the purpose of researching kind of the tone and what's going on in the social media areas. Like, that's just part of the job, kind of understanding what the algorithm's doing and things like that. And so I see a lot of these things, and so I can get my daily news in just like 30 minutes of updates of things happening in the world. But don't get stuck there. I see a lot of people get stuck there, and we don't want to get stuck there. We want to be producers of good in 2025. And so today it's sunny, it's bright, it's warm. I don't even have a coat on, and there's progress happening and so many amazing things. And that is what matters, that we are doing good things, doing healthy things. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next video.